Hi, I'm Jenna Lane, your Bucks insider for SportsTalkFlorida.com. He got his own island here in Tampa, so now he gets his own video. For Bucks fans, though, it means farewell to Darrelle Revis and the 6-year, $96 million deal he signed with the team this past season, along with a trade that sent a first-round draft pick and a conditional draft pick to the Jets. Now, I've had a lot of fans express to me their frustration in the fact that Revis was only here for a year. How could this organization part ways with a player like that? Jason Licht, general manager for the team, said, "This organization would not pay for the mistakes of the previous regime." But I want to back up just a bit to the previous regime with Greg Schiano and Mark Dominic, and why at the time signing Darrelle Revis actually made sense. Back then, Josh Freeman, this team believed, was a franchise quarterback. They also believed that they had a premier left tackle in Donald Penn, and that they had the league's two best guards in Davin Joseph and Carl Nix, despite the fact that both players were coming off injuries. You look at the weapon that they had with Doug Martin, they also had Vincent Jackson and Mike Williams. This offense was clicking on all cylinders. And then when you go to the defense, this team believed that it could function without defensive end Michael Bennett. They had Gerald McCoy coming off his first season healthy. People finally got to see what he was capable of doing. And they had two linebackers in Mason Foster and Levante David beginning to thrive in this system. You go back to all the games that were played. There were a lot of fourth quarter leads that were blown. And it looked like this team, they were really only missing one or two things. One thing being a secondary, which is why it made sense at that time to go out and fork over 6 years worth of money, $96 million, on Revis. But fast forward to a year, a new regime under Lovie Smith and Jason Licht, it's not the same team. Josh Freeman's no longer here and might not be in the league anymore. Donald Penn, you saw the decline in his play last year. We don't know if Carl Nix is going to be back out on the field ever again. And Davin Joseph wasn't quite the same player after that injury. Not to mention, they now have a new defense that's come into town. They don't quite require the services of a guy like Darrelle Revis anymore. So with all those things being said, and the fact that this team only had 5 picks in the draft, it didn't make sense to have all those funds tied up into one player. And releasing Revis freed up $16 million in cap space. You can do a lot of things with that, essentially signing 2, even 3 players depending on how the contract looks. So I want Bucks fans to keep that in mind as they get over their frustrations with Revis and the fact that it seemed like this team only signed him just to release him, renting him essentially for a year. Would you go out and remodel a house, get a brand new kitchen or a brand new bathroom if you knew that your home had termites? That's what this team essentially had to do. They had to relay a foundation. With Sports Talk Florida, I'm Jenna Lane.